July 27 at 7:15 a.m. I just got done watching last night's briefing that they couldn't broadcast because they couldn't get Facebook to work for them or something. I don't know what the problem was. Anyway, they didn't get it going, but they put it up on YouTube, and that was good because I was able to fast forward all the crap from the Plumas Force supervisor who gets up there and rambles on and on for forever and doesn't say anything. And I'm just tired of seeing that guy. Anyway, so I'm not. I'm looking at what they're doing, and they're bringing fire down Dixie Canyon Road, which I was kind of hoping they would use that as a corridor to hold the fire from keeping it out of Crescent Mills and keeping it off our mountain behind us here. I'm not happy about the fact that they're going to light off all that country between Round Valley Reservoir and Canyon Dam. They're going to go in there and burn that all the way out to Canyon Dam, and that I don't like that at all. But the main fire is along that actually adds thousands of acres to this thing. I don't know. It seems like they could come up with a better plan than that, but whatever they can do to slow this thing down. Even though the weather has been very cooperative the last couple of days, kept this fire at bay, and we haven't had any substantial winds. We've had inversions every day for this is the third day in a row. It's inversion going on here. Inverted. I could be upside down. Anyway, it's stayed really warm last night, and there are some showers predicted for today, but I don't know if we're going to get anything. So it's doing. Things are looking up. They're getting better, and things don't look as dire as they did a couple of days ago. So that's a matter of fact. I'm going to move our vehicles out of the pasture land and get them back into the driveway. And I'm feeling confident enough to do that today, so that's a good thing. Well, the cows have kind of moved over here on this side of the valley. It's let's see, it's almost 9:30. There's been a little bit of a breeze, not too bad. It's kind of pushing some fresh smoke in here in the valley from the burnout they're doing over on Mount Huff. They're doing a burnout along the Mount Huff Road going up to the lookout, and when they get that done, that corner of the fire might be a lot more secure. This smoke is pretty thick right above me, enough that I can't even see the sun through it. As far as the smoke down here in the valley, it's probably a little bit better than it was yesterday, but still very strong smell of smoke. Big surprise there, huh? Anyway, so I'm moving the vehicles out of the cow pasture this morning. You see the cows have been moving around a little, and I don't want them rubbing against the vehicles. So I'm going to get it out. And plus, I feel pretty confident right now that I'm not going to have to worry about fire running through here. They tied off the fire down into the Dixie. They're coming down Dixie Creek Road, and they're going to tie that into Highway 89, and I'm pretty sure they're going to successfully get that done and keep the fire off the mountain behind us. And so that's going to go a huge distance for, or that's going to go a long way for keeping us from having any kind of fire down in here in the valley. Yep, that's a little bit of rain. We had a little shower, it came through a little while ago. Kind of wet everything down. Probably put a little bit of a damper on their burnout operation over there on the mountain, but it's not going to really affect the fire behavior a whole lot. It's too wet, not enough rain to really make any difference. But it does slow down the progress a little bit of the fire, that is, and of the burnout operation that they're working on. Well, it's a little afternoon. There's still no wind. There's a prediction for wind coming up this afternoon and threatening the line over there that's going up the Immigrant Road. there's a threat. Whether or not it manifests remains to be seen, but there's a lot of moisture, upper level moisture moving by, so there's a possibility that some of the rain showers might push some wind around, but we'll see what happens today. So far, nothing serious has been going on, so we keep praying, hoping and praying for the best. I'm getting pretty good wetting rain right now. That's a real good thing. I'm sure my garden's going to be loving it. Definitely going to put a damper on the fire for a little while until it dries back out again. Unfortunately, little bits of rain like this aren't going to really do a whole lot to a fire like that. Depends on what they do to capitalize on it, really. But you can kind of see the drops coming down. I had to come out and stand in it just because I'm so happy about it. So look at that. The Lord sent some rain. Well, let's see, it's 28th, July 28th. It's 5:50 in the morning. Walked outside this morning. This is a good thing. This is not smoke, it's fog, which is from all the moisture we had yesterday. The deck is pretty wet, and that was dry when I went to bed. So that's all from fog, from dew. Everything's dripping wet. That's a really good thing. Not good for their burnout, but they're finally starting to think about going direct, and that's in areas that they were going to burn. I'm very happy to hear about that. So things are really looking up here. It was looking bleak the other day, but today things are really looking up. It's not going to stay wet. It's definitely going to dry out this afternoon, and whatever fire behavior we got going is going to pick up. But you know, at least this is going to give them a good start on getting some direct line in. Yep, that's the sun. First time I've seen that in a few days. It's starting to come through the inversion. It's supposed to be light winds today, so even though the inversion lifts, I think it's still not going to be too breezy, which is a good thing. I'm starting to feel like they're getting a good handle on this fire, so I'm thinking things are going to get better pretty soon. Seeing the sun here is pretty nice. It's not something I wanted to see the last couple of days, because that would have meant something different than it does today. The weather forecast I saw said it was going to be light winds in this area, so got high hopes that the wind doesn't come up. I think we'll be in good shape. Kind of nice to have a little visibility. Can actually see for a little distance. Still can't see the mountain over there yet, but I think this smoke's going to clear out of the valley pretty good today. It's kind of nice to see the hillside a little bit. So things are looking up. I'm just walking down the street, and there's a chainsaw laying in the street. There's a fire crew that just drove by here. I'm thinking it might have fell off of their truck, so I'm going to go ask them. They're down here at the cul-de-sac, down past Scott and Barbara's place, so go see if they are missing a chainsaw. If not, I'll take it home and hang on to it until somebody figures out who it belongs to. Well, made it through the day without any major blowouts around here, so that's all good. I had a visit from Jeff Grief, who is staying at Chrissy's out in out there on Forgay Road. Anyway, so he was told that they weren't going to stick around and protect anybody on that road, so he decided to come down here, and he's staying at her place. She's not there. There's him and one other person, but she's letting him stay there. So anyway, today's been a pretty good day. It was a little breezy today, but they're going direct over there around Round Valley Reservoir, and that's a good thing. We'll see what they say in the evening briefing, but that's what they were doing this morning, so hopefully the wind didn't push them out of there. So we'll find out. So today was pretty uneventful, and that's kind of the way I like it. July 29, about 8:30 in the morning. Sun is coming through the smoke, and there's a few clouds up there. Got up this morning, I don't know, 4 o'clock, 4:30, something like that. Came down, could see the fire over in the hill. It was coming through the smoke pretty good, so I went down and took some night shots of it, and you could see how the fire was working its way down the hill. Anyway, it's looking pretty good, actually. They're getting it burned all the way down to the Immigrant Road, which is going to be the best place for them to do it. And they got everything worked on the Dixie Canyon side, and they're working there. They're going direct back toward Highway 70, which is best case scenario. That plan to burn that dozer line all the way up to Canyon Dam, I didn't think was a good plan from the beginning, and I'm glad they didn't do that. So it would have been one of those, they would have put more fire in there than they needed to, really. Unfortunately, when you do that, you have a big hole like that's unburned. It's necessary to go in there at some point and light it and burn all that country off, and that's it's just not a good thing. Anyway, they didn't do it, and I'm thinking they're going to have to, unless something crazy happens with the weather the next couple of days, I think they'll get that all tied in, and then everything will be good. I'm kind of to the point right now, I'm thinking about unloading part of my truck. I've got all the stuff, I've got all Karen's and my stuff. All the important stuff is in there. So I'm thinking about taking some of it out, at least my stuff anyway. And boy, the hummingbirds are just buzzing all around here. I don't know what it is. I guess I got a hummingbird feeder, but I think they're nesting. Somebody was here, and I think Judy pointed out that it looked like they were nesting in the tree, and I think they might be. They're definitely buzzing all around here, and it's more than 2 of them. There's quite a few of them. They just keep buzzing around. Probably going to need to put some more juice in the feeder here before long. Well, we just had a crazy wind event here. This thunderstorm that you might hear pushed some big time winds through here, and over on the hill I could see a flaming front that was going, but I think it ran out of fuel right away. It's still putting up a pretty good smoke, but I ran to get my camera so I could get some pictures of it, but it stopped. So I'm thinking it was a small patch of unburned stuff that the wind picked it up and burned it out. So was pretty impressive there for a few minutes. At any rate, I'm happy that the wind was pushing the fire into the burn. If that had been pushing the fire out of the burn, there'd be fire all over that hill over there. What little bit of that hill you can see. July 30th, about 6:30 a.m. If you look really hard, you can see there's smoke right over there. They brought that fire down to the Arlington Road last night and probably got that piece tied off pretty good. That's a good thing. Last night there was a thunderstorm that went through, started some new fires. Worst one that I heard about, I don't know, there may be others, but the worst one I heard about was over by Evans Peak, over by where Danny and Teresa live, and it was about 10 to 15 acres last night. I don't know how big it ended up getting, but they put a lot of resources on it. I'm sure they pretty much got it knocked down. They last night that you could see the glow from here. I got a picture of it, and this morning there was no glow over there that direction, so I'm thinking they probably picked that one up. It's bad enough that we got this great big fire in the backyard, but we don't need any more starts here. But unfortunately, that's the way it works. You know, when you get thunderstorms. So supposed to have thunderstorms again today, and that's not going to be a good thing, but hopefully if we do, maybe we'll get a lot of rain with it. At least I'm hoping so. Let's see, it's the last day of July, about 9:45. This is the KMZ version. It comes on Google Earth. Picture of the fire. This is where we are right here at home. So here's Round Valley Reservoir right up here. There's some heat in here. This is kind of a hot area, but it's not, but it's lined all the way down. And I'm sure they're mopping this up all the way. This is up the Immigrant Road. They're mopping this up, I'm sure. This is all looking pretty good, so I'm thinking the whole valley is going to be pretty well locked in safe here. Yeah, the only wild card is this fire right here. This is the Evans fire. That's I don't know how big it is because they keep changing it. Yesterday morning they called it 85 acres. Then they changed it and said it was 50 acres. Now they're saying it's like around 100 acres. So I don't really know what to think about it. Just by looking at this map or this picture here, this is their mapping thing that they put out. I'm guessing just by looking at it, it's probably close to 100 acres maybe. At any rate, that's the wild card. They said they got dozer line around most of this. I don't know why they don't have it completely lined, but I guess maybe it's steeper up there than it looks from this view. This is a Google Earth view, so kind of hard to tell. Either way, things are looking up on the home front here, and I'm thinking we're just, and this over here, right here is another fire that's a couple of acres, I think. Pretty small. And they, looks like, I haven't heard much on that one. That's called the Kessler fire. And they probably got line around that by now. But it's up by Beardsley Grade. The Beardsley Grade Road comes up right through here and goes up this way. And this area up in here they did some underburns up here, and it's not real heavy fuel. Well, it looks like it's in a pretty heavy area here, but I haven't heard anything about it, so that's probably no news is good news type of deal. So anyway, that's the status. I think we're looking pretty good. I have high hopes that within a few days, I'm thinking of no activity and no increased fire in here. They're going to start letting people back in the valley. I'm hoping so anyway. Well, it's August 1st, and about almost 1:30 in the afternoon. They just lifted the mandatory evacuation order and changed it to a warning. So that means everybody that's living in the valley can come home now. So it's all winding down, and I think it's going to continue to do that. So I'm thinking things are going to be looking pretty good in the next few days, and if everybody's coming home, that's even going to be better. So it's all good. Well, let's see. It's August 2nd, about 9 o'clock. Karen's coming home today. They changed the evacuation yesterday in Indian Valley to a warning, and so it's not mandatory anymore. So everybody's coming home. And unfortunately, the fire behavior guy did his briefing this morning. It wasn't real positive about it being. It's not good news in the fire behavior forecast, in the weather forecast. There's supposed to be winds are supposed to pick up today and be pretty stiff. So this could be an issue, especially up in the Round Valley area. But there are other places on the fire, but I'm thinking the Round Valley area is the one that's going to be impacting us mostly here in the valley. And that would be on the other side of the mountain from us, probably over around Greenville. So the fire spotted over the lake. A couple of spots got over the lake yesterday, which I was afraid that was going to happen. And they didn't get very big. Apparently they seem to be, they don't seem to be too concerned about them. So apparently they picked them up. So one of them is in the chip pile. So we're gonna hope for the best, keep praying for calm winds, and hopefully things will turn out better than they are expected. And I know this about 12 days ago, 10 or 12 days ago, things looked pretty bleak, and then the wind turned off and everything got better. So I'm hoping that's what happens again this time, and that's what we're praying for. Well, I was kind of hoping that I wasn't going to have too many more days that I wanted to record things, but it looks like today, it looks like coming up in the next couple of days is going to be kind of a weather wind event thing going on. It's kind of scary, really. It's mostly over on the other side of Round Valley Reservoir going into Greenville, and that's not a good place for, well, no place is a good place for the fire to be burning. But anyway, this is kind of what it looks like over in Round Valley Reservoirs right here. And this is what's burning over here. And then Greenville's right through here, and then behind this mountain is Greenville. So this is the last 15 minutes. So it's still burning pretty hot over there, but it's not looking too bad just yet, but it could get worse today. I don't know what they've got for containment lines over there. If they're indirect containment lines, there's going to be some unburned fuel between that fire line and the fire, and that's exactly what they don't need. So, well, I guess we'll see. Now you can see the hillside over there. You can see the mountain now, which is cleared up a little bit. A little smoky still in the valley, but you can't see any. There's one big smoke up there, a couple of them, but not really much. So that's good. Wind is starting to blow a little bit, but it's kind of squirrely down here. I don't know what it's doing up on top, but we shall see. Having wind blowing is not a real good deal, but the big winds they're expecting are on Wednesday. So if it can burn down a couple of days, then we might be sitting prettier. She's back!
I'm back!
And she just got home. And so now I'm doing the happy dance. So there's one part of this is over with anyway. I don't know, the fire's not done yet, but at least Karen's home and the boys are here. So that's...
for some amount of time.
Yeah. Hopefully good, for good. So here's the deal. The fire over on the other side of Round Valley Reservoir, which is right here, is on the other side of Round Valley Reservoir, and it's blowing up big time right now. This is the last 15 minutes. And there's spot fires. There's at least 2 spot fires I can see on the hillside. And that's going to impact the Highway 89 corridor big time. I don't know how far it's going to go down the hill, because it's going to probably run to the top of the ridge and then probably start backing down. So it may not impact it too bad, but that really added another level of complexity to this fire. Well, what I was afraid was going to happen is happening. The fire spotted over the road. It's going down into Greenville, and they evacuated Greenville again. And it's not coming this direction. However, it's going to look like it's going to burn down into Greenville. It's already spotted over the ridge, and it's heading down in there. They're flying a bunch of VLATs, what they call VLATs. They're very large air tankers is what that acronym still stands for. And they were circling around here a little while ago. They must have made their drops and they're heading back for refill. Yeah, this is very bad news for Greenville. Side note, our side of the hill is not looking bad at all. We don't have any. There's one of those VLATs. It's flying right there. Our side of the hill doesn't have any kind of activity going on. So we're looking good over here. We're not under evacuation yet, and I hope we don't get under one, because I'd hate to have to see Karen leave again. But anyway, there goes one of the air tankers going over. Karen's on the road again. I'm staying again. I'm not really feeling threatened here. They've been talking on the radio about the night shift. They're gonna try picking up the flanks if they can, where it's coming down into town. And if they do that, then that's gonna help me over here as far as keeping the fire from coming this direction. The weather forecast isn't calling for any winds pushing this direction, so I'm not too worried about it right now. But it's not good at all for the outskirts of Greenville. So still flying a lot of VLATs and dumping retardant somewhere over there. But this side of the fire is looking pretty good. We don't have any issues over here, and I feel pretty safe here. What a shame that it had to spot over and run down into Greenville. It's just kind of a shame.